Hello my foodie friends and welcome to today's video. My name is Christine, welcome to my channel, and if you have not subscribed yet, I would urge you to consider doing that right now, or maybe giving this video a thumbs up if you like meal prep videos. So now that my kids have been in school for approximately a week, Dave has been back at the office for a little while, the morning hustle and bustle and putting lunches together has been quite the situation. And we're trying to get lunches together, spend some time together as a family before everybody heads out, and it is mass chaos in the kitchen, and the lunch situation has not been smooth. So in today's video, I am going to show you the meal prep that I am doing when I do have time on the weekends during the day for lunches. So we're doing a lunches meal prep for school and work that people can take, like grab and go in the morning, and they get a really nice, healthy, hot lunch and or snacks to take with them. All of my kids and my husband have access to a microwave, so most of these will be hot lunch ideas. Of course, to get started, is it even a YouTube meal prep video if we don't make hard-boiled eggs in the Instant Pot? I think not. So let's start. The question always is how many eggs to do. I've been cooking in large quantities for a long time, so I typically will do this whole tray, which is 30 eggs at one time. But do I need 30 eggs? Like, there's not even 30 in here. So what if we just did the remainder of these eggs? How much are eggs where you are right now? The 60 count, like 5 dozen egg box at my Walmart is $3.88 as of the recording of this video. And I live in the state of Idaho. So how much are your eggs? Okay, I've got my little rack in here. I'm gonna add 1 cup of water and just stack all of these eggs in here like so. Don't forget to recycle that. Is there an egg button on these newer versions? I don't have an egg button, so I'm going to take this down to 4 minutes. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of beeping. And I have to hit my manual button one more time for it to go. That's the start. Otherwise, it doesn't turn on. Let me tell you how many times I made that mistake. As soon as they're done, I run cold water on them and dump a bunch of ice. So I'm gonna let this run for a minute, and I'm gonna go get some ice to throw in here. There, I'm just gonna let that sit until they're cold, and then I will peel them. Next up, I'm going to prep some apples. We're gonna do homemade sliced apples, and I know you're probably worried that they're gonna turn brown, but don't worry, because they're not. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can cut them into slices and then soak them in some lemon water for a bit and you're good to go. Or you can sprinkle them with Sprite and that will work as well. So it's really up to you. I do have a couple of lemons in my fridge I want to use, so I'm gonna do the lemon water today. What do you think I need? Let's do 1 whole lemon. Here are my apples. So I'm just spinning them around in my lemon water so they all get coated really, really nicely, and then this will prevent the browning. This is all they do with the sliced apples they sell at Walmart or Sam's Club or whatever. I don't know where they sell those. They sell them at the grocery store. You know, the pre-packaged, pre-sliced. Just make them yourself, my friends. So here we go, and just have to divvy these up into containers now. Prepped apples ready to go. Why do these make me so happy? You guys should try this if you've never done it. Since I was prepping the apples, I decided to cut up this golden honeydew. Have you guys tried these? They're really weird because the whole thing is this almost white-green color. Ryan adores all melons. I thought this one would be fun to try, and I already filled 4 containers and I have a half a melon left. So these will be super easy for him to grab, maybe for a snack after school or to grab in the morning and throw in his lunch, which is kind of the point. Pretty excited to end up with all of these like melon cups basically. So I'm gonna finish chopping this up and I'll probably fill up another 4 containers. This is kind of an experiment, and it stems from those little packages at the store where they've wrapped cheese with salami and sell it for $2. And I'm like, I bet I can make that for way cheaper myself. So I have string cheese and salami, and I'm gonna wrap the string cheese with the salami. But I think it's too big the way it is, so maybe if I cut it in half, like in half this way and then in half this way, they'll be smaller. So this is kind of an experiment. We'll see how we do. Here is how they ended up. I think the half size, half and half, like this, like half that way, is the perfect size. And I was able to fit them, see that? In this Sistema, how do you say that? Little container right there. This is my fake one that I got from Family Dollar. And I'd say the only issue is they do want to unravel like that. So I don't know if I need to do maybe larger, like a larger salami round, so it's like bigger, but I think they turned out so cute. So I'm gonna take a couple more of these. I know Haley and Dave are gonna think these are the best things ever. All right, I'm gonna continue working on these snacks, but now that we're kind of wrapping up the snack selection, let's move on to the main event and the main lunch items I'll be making. If you guys are losing inspiration in the meal prep game, you could use a meal box kit like Green Chef, and I would like to thank Green Chef for sponsoring today's video. If you want to try them out, I have a sweet deal for you. If you use the code FrugalFitMom80, it will give you $80 off your first month and free shipping off your first box. So just go to greenchef.us/FrugalFitMom80 to redeem and for more details. So Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company, and their meals include paleo, plant-powered, keto, and I've done one of those boxes before, and balanced living. Green Chef offers contactless delivery straight to your doorstep for some really delicious home cooking. All of the ingredients are pre-measured, perfectly portioned, and mostly prepared. So I have done several Green Chef boxes in the past, and I find that they are incredibly fast to put together. It might seem a little scary when you look at all of the ingredients laid out, but honestly, it's 30 minutes or less for every one that I've ever made. And you cannot beat their sauces. Every time I have done one of their sauce packets, they are bomb. So if you are ready to let Green Chef do your meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of your prep, go to the first link in the description box, greenchef.us/FrugalFitMom80, or use the code FrugalFitMom80 to get $80 off your first month and free shipping off your first box. Let's continue cooking this delicious pork meal. What I love about the meal box kits is that they remind me to always do my mise en place, like get all of my ingredients ready, and it makes the actual cooking process very, very fast. So when it comes to cooking pork, you need a screaming hot pan, a good amount of fat. I'm using bacon fat right here, and a nice hard sear on either side, and then I finished it in the oven for about 6 minutes. And in that same pan, I put in my green bell peppers, my kale, and my garlic, sauteed that for about 5 minutes to get the vegetables soft, and then I added in my currants. It did come with almonds, but I know that Ryan is not a huge fan of almonds, so I left those out to be added at the table or at the lunch of everybody who decided to eat this. In comes the jasmine rice. I forget how much I like jasmine and basmati rice. It's really, really good. I just went ahead and cooked that in my Instant Pot and then dumped in the coconut sauce that came in the box. There's got to be a website where you can recreate these sauces, because I'm just so impressed by how amazing their sauces are. The last 2 Green Chef boxes that I got were both the keto box, and I just felt like the sauces with the protein and vegetables just like made the whole dish. I have servings for 4, so I'm slicing all my pork and putting it on top, and I thought this was a great option for a make-ahead lunch meal prep because the rice and pork will reheat very, very nicely. All of my kids and my husband all have access to a microwave, and these containers are actually way bigger than they look. Here are all my veggies I found in the fridge. So what I'm gonna do is actually prep all of these, and some I'm gonna roast in the oven. Some I'm just going to leave raw, like the cucumbers here and the bell peppers, I'll just leave raw. In my meal prep containers, I can have some fresh veggies for those that like that, and some roasted veggies for those that want something cooked. Make sure you clean all your veggies really, really well. I'm doing mine in my salad spinner. It's one of my favorite kitchen tools. Here's my lettuce. And this is like a big hack for you, I guess. Cook up, like roast up a ton of veggies in your oven or air fryer or toaster oven or whatever it is that you have around. All you have to do is cook a protein. Like you could grill a chicken, you could have a burger patty, you could have a steak, you could have shrimp. Put it in meal prep containers. You got roasted veggies with a protein on top, boom, delicious hot lunches. It's really, really easy. And then I've said this before, but if you prep all your veggies and fruit, your family will eat it. Sometimes I know people are like, oh, but I prep, I buy it and then it goes bad. And that's because the kids and sometimes the spouse, they don't want to put the work into prepping it. But after I had chopped up these carrot sticks and put them in a container, Tyler has been taking these for lunch every single day because he loves carrots, but he's 11 and he's not going to like prep carrots in the morning before lunch, like when it's time to make his lunch for the day. My kids do kind of make and put together their own lunches in the morning, so my job is more just to make sure that there are things available for them to grab, and I can kind of guide them in the morning, but I'm definitely not the one sitting and putting everything together for them. Here's my broccoli and cauliflower, and I even found 2 purple onions in my fridge that I wanted to use up. I just threw everything on a pan together with some olive oil and this zesty lemon seasoning by Weber. We're gonna mix this up, stick it in a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 30 minutes depending on your oven, and I should have some nice roasted veggies ready. You can, of course, do this in your air fryer as well if you have one available to you. I was just doing a lot this day. Let's make a full-on meal. So I am rinsing up some green onions or scallions or whatever, and I'm going to make a vegetarian black bean enchilada. So I am going to fully make this and prep it and cook it ahead of time and then divvy it up into meal prep containers and hopefully have enough to make a freezer meal as well. So here are all of my produce items that I'm going to be using. I have a ton of black beans that I'm going to be using. These were canned that I had in my pantry. Some of the peppers were from my garden, and I am using a green salsa for my enchilada sauce, if you will. Be careful when you work with poblanos because sometimes they can be very, very spicy. I've had some that were weirdly spicy and I didn't wear a glove on my hand, and then my hand was on fire, and then I wiped my lip and then my lip was on fire. That may or may not have happened on this day when I am chopping these peppers. But if you wear a glove when you do jalapenos, I would also recommend wearing a glove when you do poblanos because they can be shockingly spicy sometimes. You're seeing me chop all of my veggies for my filling for the enchiladas. So I'm going to do the poblanos, the tomatoes, the green onions, and the black beans. And here, this flip right here, this is all in the wrist. So if you want to practice it, just make sure you're willing to pick up the pieces that fly out if you're not used to it, but just make sure you have the right pan and you have enough grease in your pan and just give it a try. It's actually really fun. It makes you feel like a real chef. So here are my onions I'm going to be putting into my filling. I'm doing all the white bits in with the peppers and tomatoes, and then I'm saving all the green pieces for topping afterwards. Gave that another little shaky shake, added all of my tomatoes, and I basically let all of this kind of saute together until everything was soft. It took longer than I thought. I felt like my peppers were really, really crunchy and just didn't want to soften up this day. And this pan is very heavy at this point. That's a 12-inch, very deep skillet. It's a lot of food. So in my other pan, I have some of the black beans, like half the black beans, and I'm mushing them up with some taco seasoning to try and make kind of like a refried black bean. And then in my veggie pan, I'm putting the other half of just the whole black beans, assembly lining all of my tortillas. So I'm putting a smear of my refried black beans, and a dollop of my filling that I had made and rolled them up and put them in that huge 10 by 15 glass baking dish. I did not grease my pan. I found that I didn't need to do that for this, and I always struggle with overfilling my tortillas or underfilling. I can never get that right. But I thought I did a pretty good job, and I like the smear of refried black beans on here because it kind of glued the tortilla closed when I was rolling them out. And so I filled up this entire pan as tightly as I could. I even had enough to make a freezer meal as well, which I will show you in just a minute. So I'm kind of nearing the end of my tortillas, and I jammed them in there and dumped on the green tomatillo salsa as the enchilada sauce. It's not even real enchilada sauce. And topped that with Monterey Jack cheese and baked it in the oven. Look how beautiful they are. And then I divvied them out into meal prep containers with 2 or 3 in each one. Our next meal prep meal had to do with this massive half of a Napa cabbage I've had sitting in my fridge for 2 weeks. I'm telling you guys, these cabbages last forever in your refrigerator. So I pulled it out. They just take up so much room. So I pulled it out and I'm like, I have got to use this thing. And what's weird about cabbage is the more you chop it, the larger it gets. So you can see it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's like a monster. And it takes over your whole cutting board. So I'm chopping it first and then putting it in my salad spinner to wash. And I'm going to saute it. And this was the jumping point for pork noodle bowls, like an Asian-inspired pork noodle bowl. I am chopping up some green onions that were in my fridge as well. Here's the thing with green onions. I have people tell me a lot that I need to stick the roots in water and have them grow. But the amount of them that I use for each meal, and then the amount of time that they need to actually grow and the amount of room they'll take up in my kitchen, it doesn't make sense to me. Am I missing something here? Explain to me how waiting a month to grow new green onions when I need to use 10 stalks in one day makes that worth it. So I'm having a hard time with that. So in this bowl, I just have some red Szechuan sauce, cornstarch, some sugar, some soy sauce, crushed red pepper flakes, and some water, I think, to thin it out. My cabbage is about ready, so I drained that. And in my pan where I'm going to be putting everything together, I just have some ground pork. I have half of my green onions, mostly the white parts, and I'm saving the green parts for the top. Mushing those up with my favorite kitchen tool I never knew I needed, my meat masher. In my new large pasta pot, I picked this up on Amazon and I tossed my old one. I went ahead and tossed in some ramen noodles that I had downstairs in my mechanical room. And once my pork was cooked, I threw in all the cabbage that I found in my fridge. So I found some purple cabbage and then that Napa cabbage that you saw me chop up. This was pretty easy. I just dumped in the noodles and sauce and meat mixture that I showed you, my monster serving spoons, and then divvied them out into individual containers, added some crushed peanuts and the green onions on top. This was such a huge hit. Andrew was like, I'll take noodles every day. Thank you very much. I'll take noodles every day. The last full meal that I will be making was another one of those things that was very, very easy to do. So I had some cucumbers, some tomatoes, a bunch of lemons in my lemon drawer, and for some reason I have like random shallots at the bottom of my veggie drawer that I forgot about. So I chopped them all together, added some fresh dill to make this fresh salad, and I think there's a little bit of salt in here as well, but that's really all. I just chopped the veggies up, mixed them with dill, and added salt. Look how pretty it is. It was so fresh tasting. And in my food processor, I put some more shallots, garlic, a couple cans of chickpeas, and the rest of the dill that I had, and pureed it all together with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. And I made like chickpea burgers out of these. Fritters, we're gonna call them fritters. So I did a shallow pan fry with these, and then when I packed them up for the meal prep, I served them with the salad, the little bit of sour cream, and some pita bread kind of chopped up. These were delicious. Any recipes that I have utilized today, I will try and leave those linked down below. If I've forgotten one, let me know in the comments and I'll come back and add it later. Also, any tools that I have used, I'll try and leave those linked down below as well if you want to check them out. If you guys want to give Green Chef a try and save $80 on your first month and get free shipping on your first box, use my link down below. It's greenchef.us/frugalfitmom80, or just use the code frugalfitmom80 on their website to get that deal. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.